What's up and what's good, everybody? Welcome to week number 5 of the PrepZone football preview. That's Dan Young. Yeah, it's 5 already.
What are you going to do when you run out of fingers to do that? Because you do that every week.
No, this is the first week I did that. You did 4 last week.
Okay. Roll the tape.
Oh, no.
Don't do it, Jack.
No.
Okay. He doesn't
We
have
just
to do
got
it.
started.
Unless he did it.
I do have the tape. What's up and what's good, everybody? I'm Jack Harrison. Welcome you to week 4 of the PrepZone football preview. That's Dan Young, sports director.
And we're back.
We didn't even get through the intro.
Would you like to do another intro?
I might as well. That's Dan Young. That's David Mitchell. I'm Jack Patterson. Welcome to week 5 of the
Heard the
PrepZone
sheep.
football preview.
Not that we're sheep. Kinda
You are.
Yeah. Anyway, big game last week, Prattville and Central, and
Oh, boy.
man, the Central Red Devils.
Talk about goats.
Yeah.
The Central Red
Greatest of
Devils.
all time.
That was a fun game for a Duke because last year it was all about the points.
Yeah.
This year it was all about the defense, and there were some helmets knocking against each other, a lot of bumps and bruises.
I'm just thinking a good little.
We called it big boy football for a reason.
And Kingston Davis, really.
Yeah.
That dude's legs, man.
Yeah.
A couple of tree trunks. And Central contained him about as good as you can.
Yeah.
He had a couple long runs, especially early, but the later the game got, I thought Central's defense got better.
The only big play, there were big plays, but the only real big play I felt like he had was his long touchdown run.
Yeah.
And, that was Prattville's only touchdown. So I think if Central's defense needed validation, that was it. They did it against a team that can match it in size, in numbers, and depth, and all that, and they went out there and kind of put. It was Central didn't have its way offensively. It was only a 20-10 game, but kind of had their way with Prattville a little bit.
Do we agree, though, that if Central scores 20, 25 points in a game, that their defense is good enough to win most of those games?
Most games.
It's going to take an absolutely elite performance by another team to beat Central when they're scoring 20, 25-ish.
Yeah. Like
Not to say it can't happen. Yeah.
Right. Like Auburn coming back in the final 3 minutes of the game.
boy.
Jamie DeBose said that was the
Never going to happen again.
longest
probably.
little stretch of his coaching career.
Yeah, he's never seen that in his career.
And let's just say this: at the rate that Jamie DeBose is going, they're going to build that man a statue in Phoenix City.
I
So
wouldn't
he
be
wins
surprised.
over Prattville.
They got to
2
get
years?
it. They got a lot of goals left on their table this year. Prattville is a start. It's certainly region-wise.
They'll probably play again, too.
They're
yeah.
going to meet again in the playoffs. Let's be honest.
And when we get there, it's going to be what is Central's record versus Prattville in the playoffs.
Right.
Regular season wins are fine, but
They got one more zero to
WAP
erase in that department.
Yeah, but
which, by the way, that playoff game last year, that still motivates Jamie DeBose, and that
absolutely.
motivates Central.
the probability is that Central, and I know Smith Station people, Enterprise people, Jeff Davis, they're going to have some qualms with this, but that win last week probably gives Central the region. And Central's not going to accept that either. They've still got to go out and play the games,
And their offense has to improve.
Absolutely, but they've got all their ducks in a row to go out and get the region. Now this week they've got a game that's not a region game, but it will toughen them up, get them, even more prepared for that final stretch. Get some good region
Ryan
teams.
Blackman and them dogs are coming to
They're
town.
coming to town.
Well, do you remember 2 years ago when Smith Station's defense was just hitting harder than everybody? They were playing faster than everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were on a different level than any defense in the area.
Right.
Yes.
That's what Central has right now.
That's what Central
Yes.
has right now, but plus a little bit.
Yeah.
Central's defense.
They've got more top star power.
Central's defense is as good as anybody in the entire state of Alabama, and
on the planet. The Monstars from Space Jam couldn't stop them.
you are giving them a
Hit 'em
lot of
high,
props.
hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em low, hit 'em.
I want to see the 80s Miami Hurricanes go through the Central offense. Central defense and see what happens.
How about the Dallas Cowboys without Tony Romo and Des Bryant?
Low blow, bro. Low blow.
He's a Cowboys fan.
Oh, can't wait for Sunday.
The Brandon Wheaton Show, yes sir.
Can't
A
wait
show
for
for a
Sunday.
different day, my friend.
I can't wait for Sunday. But
I can't either.
that's pros.
Opelika Central.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, more big boy football.
I will
right?
say this. This will probably be the best regular season game of the year.
I thought we said that last week.
I know, and I'm saying it again this week.
And maybe between two teams that we routinely cover. Because you and us even Opelika a few times a year. We cover them all the time in our viewing area. And Opelika's special. I said it when the season started. I thought there were 4 teams in our area that had a chance to win the state championship, Marion County and Georgia, and then 3 in Alabama with Opelika, Central, and Beauregard. I think all of those are proving to be pretty much true at this point.
Here's what I'll say about Central going into this game. I think even though their offense wasn't fantastic last week, they made some plays when they needed to. Quan Weaver had a couple of really good throws, especially that last throw to Jamal Couch in the front corner. I mean, a real gutsy call to go for it on 4th down and not just go for it, but
Quan's not lacking
go all the way.
confidence.
No,
He would chuck a deep ball.
And you know what that says to me? That says that he has earned the coaching staff's trust, and that is a big thing for that offense because, you know, let's be honest. Last game of last season against Prattville in the playoffs, first game of this season against Stockbridge, 2 very good defenses, don't get me wrong, but Central's offense was kind of in limbo.
Stagnant.
It was stagnant. We didn't really know what to expect, but I think we're starting to see some guys step up and become those playmakers that Jamie DeBose talked about. And you put that with Central's defense, they're for my money, I think they're the best team in Alabama.
And I think kind of what they're at right now is where Quan Weaver's deep ball has become so efficient just in getting there that he can throw it that far, that they trust him. Look, if it's an interception,
and the accuracy.
If it turns out to be an interception, it's essentially a punt. So in a 3rd down situation, I mean, that might be better than a punt sometimes.
Let it rip.
And the fact is, that hasn't even been the case. There haven't been turnover problems, but I almost think that's the mentality. It's like, our defense is so good that if this doesn't work out like we want it to, we'll be fine.
And it does something that the offense wasn't really showing for a little bit is, you know, it keeps the secondary honest, and Quan Weaver and the running backs are able to they don't get big plays in the running game, but they get consistent plays.
You know, Jackson Carson reminds me of a little bit the way he runs, especially for this team, is a little bit of Trey Mason, the way at Auburn.
It's high praise.
Yeah, it's high praise, but I'm saying that
I understand that now.
You don't have negative yards.
Right.
You don't turn the ball over. Just go forward, get what you get, and don't take a really hard hit.
Exactly.
I think it is a trained ability to not take a really hard hit, so that way you can't play the next play.
And Weaver's done the same thing as running in the court. I compared him to Russell Wilson last week because he doesn't go out there and doesn't go get 20, 30 yards on a play, but he's going to get his 8, 9
Be smart,
yards.
get your yards,
and get out of bounds.
Don't get hurt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next game that we're covering is a huge rivalry game in the city of Columbus.
You're smiling. Why are you smiling?
Shut up, David. It's a huge rivalry game in the city of Columbus. It's Northside versus Shaw. This game determined the number 4 seed in 1-5A last year. And with Columbus on the upswing, who knows? This could be an elimination game, and we're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Before we begin this discussion, I think you need to make sure your Shaw allegiances are well known among all of our viewers.
I think anybody who's watched,
anybody who's watched us knows that I am a Shaw grad. So I'm going to do my best to analyze this matchup and not show any bias.
Okay, good luck with that. By the way, East Lawrence High School, Dublin, Georgia, East Dublin, Georgia, 4-0. 4-0.
Stars Mill, 4-0.
Woo! Undefeated.
Yeah, that was the most awkward high five.
My elbow hit your elbow. Does.
All right. So anyway, back to
Speaking
Shaw
of awkward,
and Northside, Shaw and Northside at Kinnett this week. It's like you said, it determined a playoff spot last year. Northside won the game and got the playoff spot. Shaw. It's interesting because the region, we've beat this to death. The region is so wide open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, one game that we're not talking about because it's already happened when this airs will be Columbus and Carver. And, you know, that's going to play a big part. But, you know, just how open this is, this game's going to may determine a playoff spot.
Also have already happened Hardaway LaGrange, just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's also has happened.
Yeah, that's
because we don't tape these things; they're live whenever you're watching it. When you click play, we start.
That's how this works.
We live here. If you practice this Friday during a game, we'll magically just pop up right here.
The interesting thing about these two teams too is these were both teams that I thought were going to be strong coming into the year. Both teams who have struggled but both teams who have also shown some strength. That's the most vague thing, but you know what I'm saying.
It's Jekyll and Hyde.
You know what I'm saying, right?
It's like Shaw looked really good for 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Shaw looked really bad for 2 games this year.
Right. Well, in their defense, they faced a Northgate team that has given up, I think, 6 points all year, and they got shut out.
I mean, they gave up 6. Come on, 6 points.
You know.
Jeez.
And-
Who do you think you are, Grayson Lambert?
No.
24, 25.
96%.
Good joke, Dane. Good joke.
But I think the big thing in this game is Shaw. Would a real Shaw please stand up?
Right. Well, they've scored a lot of points.
They've also given up a lot.
But they've given up a lot of points.
American something.
They've turned the ball over at times. But I think, like you said, this game is going to show a lot about which of these teams is going to step up. Shaw's offense, like we say, they've turned the ball over some, but I mean, they can light up the scoreboard. Now, defense does have to get better.
I actually think Shaw should be favored in this game because I think Shaw has, to be honest, better athletes than Northside. But that being said, Northside, man, they play physical football.
Yes.
And if Shaw gives up yards and points the way that they have been, if the defense doesn't, get a little more staunch, then
if the defense
it's gonna be a long
tired, there's going to be problems.
Northside's an interesting case to me because I feel like they are a lot more talented and able than they've shown in their last 2 football games.
Agree.
And they're also at a disadvantage because they had a game that was called by lightning. They didn't get to, go through all the non-region schedule that they had wanted to. But for them, this is a game where it's kind of, you have to make a stand now. If you don't jump out and do it now, then you're really going to be at a disadvantage to try and make the playoffs at the end of the year. Confidence-wise, I don't know that dropping to 1-3 would be a very tough hole for them.
Especially with the way that Columbus started the season.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's not that, everybody's on an equal footing with region records,
Yes.
but it's the confidence factor, it's
Yeah.
the momentum that, you can't, it's difficult to drop to 1-3 and keep people motivated in practice, to go bang their heads against the wall and keep going out there. And so I think they need a good performance.
I
this
mean,
week.
do we agree based on what we've seen so far that you change the order however you want to? Carver, LaGrange, and Columbus are most likely top 3, and then you've got that last spot.
They look at the top 3 right now.
Yeah, I
now,
agree.
what it looks like right now, I'm not convinced is that that's what it's going to look like at the end of the year. I still think Harris County is going to develop, improve over the year. They lost so much that it's
Yes.
easy to understand why they struggled early in the season.
Their whole system looks different.
But they've got such a great coaching staff and guys who, in good tradition over the past few years.
And they got Bubba Blackman.
And they got
I like Bubba Blackman now.
You're one of your third favorite Bubba.
I still can't believe
he's
got
among
Bubba
the top
Bubba
3.
Sparks.
Bubba Sparks, Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Bubba from Forrest
And,
Gump.
I'll throw a 4th in there, Bubba Watson.
Okay.
What about
dogs.
Bubba Wallace from NASCAR?
All right. Let's continue the show.
Man.
NASCAR back to
You gonna leave me out there like that?
Hey, leaving you hanging out to dry like in the 3rd lane at Daytona, coming around the 4th corner. With
Oh, and then you're gonna use a
nobody
NASCAR.
drafting behind you.
Then you're gonna use a NASCAR punt. Okay, I see how this is going.
You can find a NASCAR clip if you want to show here.
You're the worst, Dane. You're the worst.
I think like 2002, Tony Stewart, like one of his first starts, he got caught in the middle early in the race and went right on the back.
Let's get back to football, Dane.
Stop.
Let's get back to football.
Bubba Blackman, that's where this went.
But anyway, the point was that this game is, because there is so much fluidity in this region, that this game is very important for both teams to go ahead and get a head start. Because it's kind of got, and again, we don't know what happened in Carver, Columbus yet, but the region could be literally on its head, because I think a lot of people thought Columbus was down here, Carver up here, and we don't know what happened.
And I don't know where LaGrange is at anymore either.
Right.
Yeah,
LaGrange has definitely shown chinks in the armor from what they were the
and let's
first couple
remember
games.
that Hardaway has had a couple good games.
Yeah, Hardaway's looked good.
So you can't sleep on the
at
Hawks.
times, absolutely.
You can't sleep on them because
This
this region's a crapshoot. There's no other way to
I
put
think
it.
what we're saying is that in terms of playoffs, the loser of Shaw and Northside. They're really behind the 8 ball.
Exactly. That was the point that we were getting to, very slowly and methodically getting to that point. But that is the
If
point.
you stayed with us to that point, congratulations. You win a gold star.
I'm not putting the gold star up there, Dane, so stop.
Just trying to make him do more work.
No.
What do we got next, Jack?
Actually, he's doing this on his off day, so good for him.
Good for Jack.
Yay, Jack. Woo! Yes, sir.
And
Bob
applause
Jeswell
for-
with the chorus.
We got Bob Jeswell in here.
Bring it on, Bob.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're not even on the last segment
We're not
of the
even on the
show.
last segment.
Yeah, but
We
he's
got
here.
Bob Jeswell.
Oh my God.
Poking fun of that. I know how Joey did a great job singing that, by the way.
He did.
Yeah, he was our replacement for your antics.
He
That's
did.
good. That's great.
This is a News 3 First Alert weather update.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have a lot of Friday night. We're going to keep an eye.
It's a good segue,
Well,
right?
I'm going to watch closely for this area of low pressure that's retrograding. It's coming more inland from
Retrograding,
coastal
yeah.
areas, so it'll be moving on a westward track. So if that's the case, it could reposition our forecast for rain. Right now, it looks like it'll be farther north of the news viewing area. So at best, on Friday Night Football, a lot of clouds, a little breezy northeast-east winds, 5 to 15 miles an hour, it looks like, and maybe a sporadic little pop-up late shower. That's it. Too bad.
We don't mind a little rain. We can deal with a
And if
little
we see
rain.
David Mitchell out there again, we'll provide him with a little bit of Shane's barbecue like we did last week. He had an extra sandwich. Be glad
You
to-
spread information more efficiently in your little 30 seconds here than we did for the entire
Oh,
show
no.
so
Well,
far.
now we just condense it. It's great.
He's a
Well, actually,
professional.
yeah.
We just try
He's
to.
a
No, all you
professional.
guys, it's good. Well, good. It's great. I'm going to hop back into Weather Center. We'll see you guys later. Sounds good.
Weather Center's that way.
Yeah, with your News 3 First Alert forecast, that's Chief Meteorologist Bob Jeswell.
That was a good segue to
Friday night tailgate game of the
you
week.
go.
And it's a private school battle in Alabama, AISA.
Rivalry.
Yep.
It's a good rivalry.
Lee Scott and Glenwood.
One of the better ones that we have in our
Yes.
How about Glenwood playing well this year?
Oh,
so
yeah.
far?
Lee
Very
Scott,
well.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big game for. I believe Glenwood won this game last year, and then suffered some injuries and went downhill. Still made the playoffs, but the end of the season was a struggle for them. They're playing well right now, and I think this game is a good barometer of where they can finish up.
And I
the
think
year.
the big thing with Glenwood, they put up, with the exception of one game, the game against Edgewood, they put up a lot of points this year.
Yeah, the offense has been very strong. Like you say, put up a lot of points, and I'm not sure. We don't cover Lee Scott, but I'm not sure how.
I was at Lee Scott Friday night. They
Tell
played
us about 'em.
Otaga Academy. Otaga Academy.
Close
For
enough.
me to say. And the biggest thing that I take away from that is the offensive line, believe it or not, because the holes they've opened up for their running game and their
Yeah.
quarterback, unreal. You could drive a Mack truck through those.
And from the highlights that I've seen, I think Lee Scott's connection with the receivers is pretty solid, which, at that level of football, sometimes that's hard to develop, especially when you have smaller rosters, a lot of turnover sometimes. Glenwood had that last year. Glenwood, it seems like they just turn over the roster every year.
Just the depth wasn't there last year. I think they've
And that's
improved.
what, that's what hurt them last year.
Yeah, the numbers have improved. They've certainly got some really good athletes, but I think just having the numbers, because again, like we said, they had multiple guys get hurt against Lee Scott last year, and their season went downhill from there because just don't have the depth. This year, I think they got a little bit more depth, and I think that's shown so far. And hopefully they won't have to deal with injuries, but if they do,
Well,
that
the
can be
fun
a
thing
difference-maker.
about a rivalry game like this is, regardless of what's happened to this point in the season, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
This
Right.
this sets the tone from here.
Right.
These guys are going to come out here playing like it's a state championship game.
Yeah.
I mean,
You saw Central Prattville last week. The atmosphere there. You're gonna have you won't have as many people, but you're gonna have a similar atmosphere between
Brookstone
these two.
Pacelli is always the same way.
Absolutely, absolutely. These teams like to beat each other.
yeah,
we'll say
and both
that.
and both schools travel well.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch. Both offenses really fast-paced, high-flying. Lee Scott does it more on the ground, Glenwood more through the air. But I like the pace of both offenses, and I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair.
And I think what's interesting, I believe this is only Glenwood's second home game this
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
That's very few compared to most teams at this
They
point in
play
the
at
season.
home week 1, I believe.
Yeah, and so their fans are going to be jacked up just to see their team.
Yeah,
because it's been a while since week 1 since they've seen them. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I'm not sure if it's going to be a shootout. If the weather gets crazy, then all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Thanks,
right.
Bob.
Hashtag no lightning.
Bobby Downer there.
But if you're a fan of just football where the players are just playing hard, you got a couple great options this week. That's one of them, is Glenwood Lee Scott. Obviously, Central and Opelika is another. But, there are just plenty of great games. Our schedule this season, early on, has been as good as I can remember it being.
Yeah. Well, and I think what that comes down to is, and we've beaten this horse to death, is that it is a lot of parity, which means more competitive football games and a lot of, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen in this
we're
game.
already at week 5.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about parity, and we weren't even scheduled to talk about this, but when Greenville beat Pacelli,
Yes.
oh my goodness.
Greenville's a good football team.
That just kind of toppled the whole apple cart a little bit.
Changes
for me.
everything.
Did I not tell you to watch out for Greenville last week?
You did, but that does a couple things. That makes Marion Pacelli a really big deal for Pacelli. Like that's a loss they can't afford to have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes Greenville Marion.
And keep in mind, that was a first-round playoff game last year.
And keep in mind, Brookstone beat Hawkinsville as well. So
Yeah.
I think
the Cougars are back in it.
I think we figured Hawkinsville was down, but Brookstone is, like you said, back in it. So.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, 4 single A's back wide open.
A lot of parity.
So we got single A in Georgia that's open. We've got
4 single A, 1 5A, 2 7A.
Can we just say every region is wide open?
some of them aren't though.
No.
Some of them are kind of shut
Like,
down a little bit.
Beauregard's probably going to run rough.
Yeah, but Beauregard's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We need to give Beauregard some love. You don't get to see them, but I'm going to show you some Beauregard highlights.
All right, we'll do that after.
Beauregard's fun.
Jack could show them right now.
Roll the clip.
Number 3, Nathaniel Williams.
It's like 7 roll the clips.
I'm not gonna use all of them. So
You're not going to do my gold star?
No.
Dane.
no. I have a day turnaround on this.
Okay.
All right.
We've been back. So
And we're back?
we've been
Yeah.
back about 25
There's a
seconds.
camera there.
No, there's 3 cameras over here. There's
And I'm
one
wearing a
right there. There's one
microphone.
right there. There's one right there. There's a 35-inch screen TV over there,
And I'm wearing makeup.
and we're not.
I was just on the show. News 3 Evening Edition.
I don't know.
Except this is live whenever you're watching.
I don't know.
Click play. Do it.
Take control, Jack.
Click play. Click it.
You're asking me to take control of that.
If you-
How successful have I been in that in the first 5 shows we've had this year?
I will.
I like to see you try. Go for it.
I'm a
Well,
that.
I was
Go
just going to
for it.
sign off.
I'm a that. You hear that? They called me a that. I'm done with you guys. I'm walking off.
Sign off, Jack. Sign off before we lose everything here.
I don't know. You on your own, Mitchell.
Go out and watch some football, folks. I'll be at Sean Connett. Where are you going to be at this week, Jack?
Callaway Troop and Shaw Northside. Where else?
And I know where Dane's going. He's going to be at Central and Opelika, I'm sure. Go out, watch the football games. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at LE Prep Sports. We got at J Patterson TV, at WRBL Sports, and what's your other one? At
It's my name, at Dane.
at Dane Young.
We're taking over the show. Enjoy the games. We'll see you next week on the PrepZone Football Preview.